Hey, everybody. It's another episode of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. It's a new podcast here. You can watch us anywhere you get your podcasts and also on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you do enjoy the show. If you don't enjoy the show, I'll be glad to give you Bill's phone number and he can answer you right there. So
I look forward to those calls.
Yeah, no, you do. Tell you a little bit about us. I'm Tony Stevens. I spent a long time on KFKF radio. It was a great career. 40 years on KFKF, doing middays on 94.1 here in town. Also, I'm now working for Hero Fund USA on a part-time basis. I am their public information officer, and I also have been a working musician in town for a long, long time with a wonderful band now that plays a whole bunch here in town called Heads Up. You can check us out online at Heads Up Band KC. This is my partner, Bill Althouse.
I tell you what, man, we get into this podcast, and I was just telling you before we went on the air, you know, there are some butterflies. It's just that excitement level that you know you're going to do something fun.
Yep.
You're going to turn out a great product. And I get to visit with my best friend for an hour, so it's a great thing. I'm a sports writer at the Examiner, 43 years. Chiefs beat writer, Kansas City Royals beat writer for 25 plus years now. Recently retired from the Examiner out in Independence. Still doing some feature stories for them. A lot of freelance work. Working for a great little newspaper in Green Valley, the Green Valley News, and I'm having a blast. I work when I want to, and when Tony and I discussed a podcast, I'm like, dude, I don't even know what a podcast is. I mean, how do you find these shows?
He thought he had something to do with fishing.
And that's what everybody has been asking me. I mean, you know, we're going into our second week, and it's so interesting to see the impact just from word of mouth. When they get to see some of these shows, I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, we're going to tell you a little bit about what shows are going to be about. Obviously, music. So we're going to give some behind-the-scenes stories, and maybe some stories you never heard about some of your favorite stars. Of course, sports story. This guy's met and known and covered everybody that this town's ever heard of. We're also going to talk about, of course, a lot of local stuff besides sports and music. What you guys are talking about in the community, what you hear and see on the news, things that are going on around Kansas City that are serious. And then we're going to have a lot of stories that are not so serious. Some of them might even be flat out stupid and head scratching, but hopefully they will all be entertaining. And we'd love for you guys to always comment, like, subscribe. You know, it's someone else and very popular in this town says it's your show. So it's our podcast, but it's your show. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Hero Fund USA. What Hero Fund does simply is it is a nonprofit organization that does fundraising for protective gear for our first responders. You and I'm involved with it being that I was asked to come on board to be the public information officer. You are very involved in Hero Fund USA. Not only do you cover it for the Eastern Jackson County newspapers around here, but you're also part of an auxiliary board that does a lot to help with what we're doing here. We provide gear for police, for firefighters, for EMTs, and things like body armor, drones, radio communication equipment, fire bunker gear, gloves, and hoods, a lot of things. You and I just recently did. This was really a special night because not only was it something for Blue Springs, but I do want to mention that we do this all over Missouri and Kansas. I mean, all over, and even some out of state, but predominantly Missouri and Kansas. A couple of weeks ago, we did our 100th grant application submission and grant that we actually fulfilled for the Blue Springs Police Department. You covered the story. You and I were both at a Blue Springs City Council meeting, and what we did at that meeting was provide a check to Blue Springs Police Chief Bob Munns, who is also a friend of ours, wonderful human being, for communication equipment for their police department, for their equal to what you guys know as a SWAT team. You see us wearing headphones, and you know that these first responders, they have to communicate with each other, with dispatchers and whatever. And these men and women were wearing stuff that was so worn out. I mean, it was held together by duct tape and dog turds. I mean, it was bad. But
I talked to a member of the SWAT team, and he said, how would you like to be in a life and death situation? You're there with your team, and his headset just fell off his helmet. He didn't have any way to communicate. This is life-saving stuff.
It is, and we were really, really honored to present that to Chief Munns and be in front of the Mayor Levacy, and the City Council. It was a great night, and those are the sorts of things we do, and there are several more that we'll be doing this year. So HeroFundUSA.org. I really would encourage you guys to check it out online, HeroFundUSA.org. Okay, let's talk about some hot topics of the week, hot sports topics. They don't change, especially this time of year.
Right now, man.
And
no,
fortunately, we are talking about more than one team.
Yes.
As we getting ready to get into fall. The Chiefs going on with their preseason. They're going to be going. They're going to be playing in Brazil. A couple of stories of interest. We're all talking about Rashee Rice. Yep. Boy, he looks good so far too. We'll get to watch him for, I guess, the first four games?
First four games, and then we'll see what the league hands do.
There'll be a hearing about the accident that he caused, and, you guys know about that. But he's going to get a suspension. There was some stories written, and I've heard on other podcasts and other radio shows about the league considering a 10-game suspension, which – I mean, I'm not one to judge to say, well, 10 games for crashing up two cars and hurting people. And, if that's what they want to do, fine. But given what's happened in the National Football League with other code of conduct infractions, I don't know, maybe a little stiff. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, is 10 games too much?
Let us know, man. I mean, we want to know what you're thinking about this. And
it's probably not going to be 10, Bill.
I don't think it will be.
But I mean, what do you guys think's fair? What do you, Bill? What do you think?
I think it's going to wind up being 6.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. That kind of seems like the sweet spot.
Well, that's a
third of the season. Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe 4.
Okay,
but 4 to 6. Maybe 10. I don't think so. But you guys let us know what you think about that. Kansas City Royals hanging on, hanging in.
Man. Okay, now listen. Last week
I know I put you on a spot.
No, and I said they're coming back, and I think they might have a chance. When 2 weeks ago, I'm like, no,
they're out. Yeah,
they're out.
I mean,
I think they're going to make it now with their pitching. If they can, a recent game, they won 10-8.
Yeah.
And it had more ups and downs than a roller coaster that was totally out of control. And it was a gutty win, and that's what they need to do. And that's what they did last year. Their record was just about the same this year at the All-Star break as it was last year. But I mean, their second half last year was unbelievable.
Well, they've been one of the best, if not the best team since the All-Star break.
Absolutely.
So, I think they're going to get in too. I just got this feeling. I was at the last homestand, watched back-to-back nights out there, and I'll tell you, one night was maybe the best game I'd seen in a long time, and then the next night it was like, we left early. So, but for the most part, I think the guys are playing really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, hats off to my Kansas City Monarchs, because these guys are really, really, by God, good.
18 games.
Over 500. Yeah, and they're awesome.
If you've never gone out there, it can be a total family experience simply because of the price. You can take your family out. You can grab some great ballpark grub. And you're going to see Pardon?
Parking's free.
Parking is last time Tony and I went out, second row.
Yeah.
And put the Monarchs in a Royals uniform and put whoever they're playing in a Detroit Tigers uniform. And I mean, we saw 4 home runs. We saw
some good ball.
2 great that would have made the ESPN highlight film. 2 great defensive plays,
They're good.
including one to end the game. And it was just a pleasant, just be sure you know what night you're going. And I guess it is eventually going to be getting cooler, but find you some seats in the shade.
Yeah, and by the way, they are in. They have clinched
Yes.
a playoff spot.
Yes.
Playoffs are going to start really, really soon. We will absolutely keep you updated about the Monarchs. Also, don't want to overlook Sporting KC, even though that might be the best thing to do at this point. They've played 26 games and they've lost 14 of them, but let's see. I don't understand what happened to that franchise or what's happened to them in the last couple of years. The coach is gone, and I don't know.
Look across the board. Look at the American League, National League, NFL football. There's so much parity in the leagues. Now, certainly not in Major League Baseball because there's not a salary cap.
Right.
But it's so much fun when a team like the Royals will slip into a World Series like they did in 15 last year. They were one series away from going to the World Series last year. But if I own a team and I have the money to own a team, I'm going to keep going, man. I want to put the pedal to the metal. And
who the hell wants to be in last place every year?
Yeah, you go from 15 winning a World Series. You have basically the same team back. They don't have the chemistry. It just didn't click. Guys are getting older. But good for Salvador Perez. He's the only guy in that team that's still with them. He is the heart and soul, and as Tony likes to say, second greatest player
ever. Yes,
in
yes,
the
sir.
history of the team,
Yes,
behind
sir.
George Brett.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So, if the Royals can slip in to the playoffs and go against these teams that have $160 million payrolls, God bless them.
And you know what? I don't think anybody will want to play us.
No,
Say,
with the pitching,
we got the Royals. Oh, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just don't think so. Also want to mention, these women are fantastic. The KC Current.
Oh.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've played 16 games. They've won 13 of them.
Yeah.
Those women are wonderful. What a great team. Have you seen that stadium?
when you drive across the bridge to North Kansas City and you look off, and it's the seats are teal and they've got the pink mixed in, and you look at that and you think, what on earth?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Well, in Sporting KC, a couple of years ago, voted the best stadium in the world. We're talking about Milan. We're talking about Manfred United, man. I mean, we're talking about the biggest of the best, and all the MLB and NFL stadiums. And I hope that they created the Cauldron. They created that great fan base, and I hope that they can somehow find a way to get back, give those fans something to cheer about.
Agreed. Also, it was still a hot topic. It's just not going to go away. The Kelsey Brothers podcast, which is now, I don't know what their reach is. Gosh, can you guys maybe send a few crumbs down this way? But, of course, Taylor Swift being on there and making the big announcement about her Life of a Showgirl album, which comes out October 3rd, which is one day after Life of a Gigolo, which is the new book by Bill Althouse.
Yes.
And I know this will make you excited because then you can actually plug back in your cassette players, because that album's also going to be on cassette.
Did I miss something? I mean, my wife made me throw all my old cassettes away. She goes, those are never going to be popular. And then I said, hey, did you hear Taylor Swift's new album's going to be on a cassette? And she goes, you made that up. And I said, no, I didn't. I'm surprised. And vinyl's making a big comeback.
Vinyl's
now.
great.
Everything that comes out, new is coming out in vinyl.
Yeah. We told the story on our last podcast about Taylor Swift before she got started, and I'll reiterate the way this works in the music business, in radio and records. When a new artist comes out, before they get on the radio and you guys get to hear them, the record company will bring them by the radio station, and they'll introduce them to guys like me and Dale Carter, who's a program director. I was music director at KFKF. And they go to maybe the top 50 markets in the United States, and they'll pick out, they'll send their new signee either alone with a guitar or with another player or a fiddle player or something like that. And they go and they perform in your conference room. Or if you have a big area where they can perform on a small stage or something, they will do that. She came in. They introduced us to her. She was very charismatic, and she played. She played 3 or 4 songs. It's like, wow, this is different. This is, I can't really say like, God, she's bigger than Garth. She's going to be as, second biggest to the Beatles, but there was something there, and that was Taylor, so, and then she, I remember, I think this was her first stop in Kansas City. She opened for George Strait at the old Kemper Arena. Telling that story, while she was playing, she was first, then Ronnie Millsap, then Strait, and while she was playing, everybody's walking around. I mean, I was backstage, shaking hands with George Strait because I got a chance to, and then now you guys know the rest of the story, if I can say that. But I want to segue into it. Talk about George Strait. Got a good George Strait story, I got to tell you. He got bigger, and there's another one. I mean, this guy he is the all-time number one leader of number one songs. I don't know if you knew that or not. More than anybody in the history of recorded music. I think it's 61, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah. So he was playing the Kempers and he started doing these Arrowhead Stadium and everything, and this is a true story. I got to play at the George Strait Festival at Arrowhead Stadium. You can see it right there.
He's got proof. He's got pictures.
I do, but I got to fess up. It wasn't on the main stage. It wasn't on the main stage, but it was on the the side stage, whatever, and there was 2 guys called the Warren Brothers. These guys are really good. You've probably heard their music. These guys are awesome. They've written so many hits for Tim McGraw and other artists, but the Warren Brothers were playing. They were hot at the time, and I knew them. I got to be friends of theirs, and they saw me standing out front. We were doing broadcasts or whatever, and they were like, "Man, come up here!" And I really didn't want to get up there, but they twist my arm a little. I went up there and play a few songs with those guys. So that's my George Strait story. I know you for a fact got more George stories than I do, and I ain't talking about Strait. Give it up. Give at least one of those up.
Oh, I tell you what. I started covering the Royals on a regular basis in 1976. That was the year the Royals won their first division championship. George won his first batting title. And I'm working for a little TV station in St. Joe, and I'd come down, and he was just such a great guy. He's just starting out. I'm just starting out. And he became, for 20-some years, one of my best friends. And my favorite George Brett story related to me and my family when he was renovating a house. And I'd come over and see him occasionally, and he'd always say, "Bring the boys and let them swim." So we would come over, and one time I brought my youngest son, Sean, who I think was 4 or 5 at the time, and he got lost in George's house. And you hear this little voice and kind of an echoey little voice, Dad, where? And George and I are just down there laughing our butts off, So we went and got him, and they go out, and George would always get in the pool with them and try to shake him off of a floaty device, and he was having more fun than they were. So, I don't know, a week or so later, I get a call from Sean's kindergarten teacher. And she's like, "Mr. Althouse, do you know George Brett?" And I said, yes, I do. She goes, oh, that's a relief. That's good. And I said, well, why? And she said, Sean never raises his hand. He never answers a question in class. But we were talking about the largest man-made sight that you can see from outer space. Well, it's the Great Wall of China. But Sean immediately shoots his hand up. And she goes, well, Sean, what do you think that is? George Brett's house.
Yeah. And the second was what? George Brett's pool?
Yeah. But that, and George, oh my gosh, treated my kids like they were his own before he had kids. And I don't see him nearly as much as I used to, but he's a guy that I'm really, really going to work. I would love to get him on an hour and just talk about past, present, and future.
So what are the chances of that, big boy?
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers.
Oh, man. Us too, really.
Yes.
Us too. So we're talking about George Strait. Just within the last couple of weeks, George Strait is going to receive one of the Kennedy honors. That's one of the big deals. It's kind of like the Country Music Hall of Fame or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But George Strait, listen to this lineup: George Strait, Kiss, Sylvester Stallone, and the disco queen Gloria Gaynor are among this year's Kennedy Center's honors, which was announced by none other than Donald Trump, who will be the host this year. Tell me that's not going to be must-see TV.
Oh, that's going to be crazy. And they offered a major award to Tom Cruise, and he declined it.
For the Kennedy Center?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And
because of Trump?
Yeah, it was Trump. And I don't know how you say no to Donald Trump. I'd be a little bit worried. But, Trump's putting his thumbprint on everything.
So, Trump, I wonder if Trump was part of the committee that said, yeah, get Tom Cruise. Do you think that?
I don't know.
Because you know what he's going to do now? He's horrible.
Oh, yeah. But I never thought I'd see Kiss in the Kennedy Center.
You know what? I saw Kiss on their first American tour.
Mm-hmm.
First American tour had to be early 70s,
Yep.
right? It was at, what's the place in KCK? Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas. Remember that? Always just do concerts there. And it was, I'm pretty sure the opening act was, or they were the opening act for Golden Earring.
Oh, that makes sense. That's good. Yeah.
And so they get up there. They're the first act to play. And it's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
They're up there, and they start between songs, and in the middle of a song, they're cussing because they can't hear themselves, and there's all kinds of feedback. So they're like, come on, fix this. They're So and I thought, oh, man, what is this? Yeah.
Now, I saw their first headline tour. They were at Municipal Auditorium.
So there you go.
And I'm backstage when their limos pull in, and I'm like, okay, are they going to be in their paint, or are they going to, go put all their makeup on later? And one by one, they walk out, and I don't know if you've ever seen these guys, but there's a reason they put all that paint on. They weren't the best-looking guys you could ever see, but damn, man, talk about staying power.
Oh, man.
They've been around forever.
And they market everything. I mean, there was, Kiss cereals and candies, comic books.
Comic books, yes.
I mean, you
now,
name
the
it.
comic books, some of their blood was put into the ink of the comic book. So, it was made with their own blood. Now, I'm sure that was a thimbleful, but that was the big way to promote those comic books.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. But Kiss, and I want to mention something local. You ever seen Almost Kiss?
Oh,
the
yeah,
band?
yeah,
here
sure.
locally.
Sure.
We're talking about bringing this back to local. Scott Elwell, he's got a whole bunch of tribute bands, but the Almost Kiss has been around forever,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys, they look at producer Tony and I did a show with them. Remember that, Tom? We did. We'll just kind of leave it at that. But we had a good time. We saw them coming out, and they had I guess they had their makeup on, and Albert Flasher, that's who I was with then at the time. We were playing outside, and we were like, what the hell? But it was them. It was, and these guys do. I'll give it to them. If you don't get a chance, and you probably won't now, I guess Kiss. They retired.
Oh my God, they've retired like 14 times.
That's what I thought.
The farewell tour, and you get all your merch, and then 6 months later, hey, we're coming back, and Well, the closest thing's almost Kiss.
Those guys play around here in town. They actually play all over the place. All right, so we mentioned that we're going to talk about some not so serious stuff, some serious things, and I want to bring this up because I just think it needs to be brought up. For the last couple of weeks and every year around this time, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration comes out with their drive sober or get pulled over, basically trying to stop drinking and driving especially on holiday weekends. But man, when you see some of this data, 511 people died last year as a result of drunk driving just on Labor Day weekend.
Yes. I can't even wrap my head around that. I don't really drink, and I'm, go have a beer and have fun. It doesn't bother me at all. But if you're the least bit hungover and you go and put your keys in the ignition of a car, you're a very dangerous weapon.
And it's 12,000 people killed every year. 12,000 people, one person, you ready for this, every 42 minutes. So by the time we wrap up this show, somebody.
Yeah.
So hate to be a freaking downer, but it's important. But on the upside, I did read this, and this is worth sharing, that a Gallup poll that they've been doing since 1939 shows now for the first time, maybe ever, that drinking is going down. So 54% of Americans reported that drinking alcohol is less important to them than it used to be, and they're drinking less. So maybe that's a good thing. Why? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I got a theory. Maybe because you can go buy something else to get loaded, that's not booze and that's legal, and you could do it in your house, and you don't, if you drive, maybe you're not going to be that bad off. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think?
I don't think there's anything wrong as long as you stay home and you don't go out on the road with drinking or with gummies or the other things. Marijuana's legal now in the state of Missouri. I never dreamed that would happen.
No.
And I was always the designated driver in high school. And there were a couple of moments where a couple of friends would light up, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm driving. The car's filled with smoke, and we had to get rid of that. But I have no problem with it. I good friend of mine, Rick Sutcliffe, loves to party.
There's a guy we need to get on with.
Oh,
us.
He's coming on.
Yeah.
He'll be on.
I know Sut, too.
And he took a limo everywhere. And if he wasn't using that limo when he lived out at Lakewood, any of his family or friends, Stacy and I use that limo many times to go to concerts or go to theater, and wow, what a great thing. He's smart. He's not going to want to get in any trouble that could easily be avoided. And the money that many of these guys make, I just don't know how you can ever have anything done with being high or being drunk. It's crazy.
Keep it in mind. Just wanted to bring it up for that. I'm not going to preach. Neither one of us are going to preach that. We've mentioned prior to this episode that we're really not going to get into politics. There may be some subject matters that involve politicians, but as far as taking sides, that we're going to leave that to smarter people than us.
Yes.
So, but I do want to mention this because I think you have the details about this story. We're talking about drinking and driving. This really pisses me off.
Oh, listen, man. When I read this, I don't think they're airing live episodes now of Saturday Night Live, but it's got to be an opening on Saturday Night Live. What would you think if you're in line, you're ready to get on your plane, and you see your pilot handcuffed with his hands behind his back, marched out of the airport in Savannah, Georgia, and he's going to jail? He failed 2 of 3 sobriety tests. My favorite line of this whole story was he blamed the smell on his breath to the gum that he was chewing. And the police are like, well, what type of gum are you choosing? And it was nicotine gum. Now, I know a lot of people that chew nicotine gum, and I've never smelled anything like that.
Yeah, made by who? Captain Morgan?
Well, exactly, yeah. It's funny, when I worked at Channel 2 in St. Joe, we had a cameraman, great friend, and every now and then he'd come in after having a couple of shots at lunch, and the weekend anchor guy and the news director came in one time, and he said, if that's not juicy fruit fermenting in your mouth, I want you to get out of here. So, there's a time you can have fun with this, but, after they took him off, those people were delayed 5.5 hours, and his lawyer says you can look at the film and see nothing happened.
He was stumbling, I heard.
Yeah, he was stumbling. He was incoherent. And if I would have had family or friends on that flight, or I'd have been on that flight, I would have been so livid that it would have ruined whatever I was going to.
Well, let me ask you guys this. You guys can comment on this.
Right here.
Are you guys, and Bill, is there an acceptable blood alcohol content for pilots? Is there an acceptable? What is it? 0.08 is for. Yeah, that's it, right? Pretty much nationally.
Yeah, I think it's lower for. I've got a good friend that was a pilot for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about this at church a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, our rules and guidelines and standards are much lower than the general public.
It might be 0.04, I think.
I don't know what the point is, but he said, I'm embarrassed by this. He's been retired for several years, and he's got people coming up to him. Hey, Bob, did you ever sneak a drink in the cockpit and stuff like that? And that's brutal. I mean, that guy gave a big black eye to the entire air industry.
And you imagine if, God forbid, he gets up in the sky with 300 souls on a plane?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, so switch gears here a little bit about something most all of us consume. And I'll ask all you guys again, and you can tell us in the comments tab. And I'll ask you first. Number one, do you still, or do you eat cereal? And number two, what's your favorite cereal?
I love cereal. I love it. Whenever we go on vacation and you can eat breakfast there in the hotel, I'm hoping for Wheaties. I'm hoping for Raisin Bran, and
those are your favorites?
Yeah, my wife's over fixing a pancake or having one of the omelets or other things, and man, I just get 2 bowls of cereal at a time, so I don't have to go back.
Yep.
And I love it, and I still do. And if my dream cereal right now, my favorite is still just cornflakes with bananas on it. Nothing fancy, nothing all crazy and sweet, but no food dye in Wheaties as far as I know. So it's not going to be changed here within the next year.
Well, my go-to right now has been Cocoa Puffs. So Cocoa Puffs, Cheerios,
Yep.
Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Life. I know it's like you guys are the most
yeah.
boring goofs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But, and you mentioned dyes. So artificial dyes no longer going to be in Kellogg cereals at the end of 2027.
Right.
Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, all those. And we know why. You guys have heard it. And if you haven't, Senator Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, who is now I said Senator Kennedy. He's the head of Health and Human Services Secretary. He's cracking down on all food additives and dyes, and he says we're getting rid of all that. Now, I don't know if my Cocoa Puffs are going to come out looking like,
that's what I'm wondering.
Burnt toast. I mean, I don't know, but I doubt it. I'm sure
What are Pebbles going to look like? Our kid's going to say, this isn't Fruity Pebbles. And then they'll taste it. Well, it tastes the same, but it sure doesn't look the same.
I don't know. You got to have a feeling that
I know it, man.
Something's going to happen. So, same question, except candy. I mean, come on. Everybody loves candy. What's your favorite candy?
Oh, boy. I really like Heath bars.
Yep.
Heath bars are great mixed in with vanilla ice cream. That's my favorite concrete or smoothie. I like Paydays, and I'm a Milky Way guy. I mean, I remember eating Milky Ways when you could get them for $5 from the store. You could go to the store with a nickel. With a
5
quarter,
cents.
And everything was a nickel, and you get 2 backs of ball cards, a Milky Way, and something to drink for a quarter.
And then you rode home in your Model T. Yeah. And so, wait a minute. Oh, my Model T is gone. Wait a minute. Stop that horse.
Yes.
All right. So, my favorite candies, let's toss up Almond Joy, Kit Kat, Hershey's with almonds.
Yeah.
But I think if there's one that I got to go to, it's peanut M&Ms. Yeah. Love them peanut M&Ms.
Yep.
And, then M&Ms start coming out with a bunch of different
crazy flavor.
They had a PB&J.
Yep.
I tried the coffee one.
I'm not a coffee guy. Yeah.
What else they have?
Well, they had caramel, and they had pretzel.
Yeah.
And
I tried that.
my wife loved the mints, but you can never find them. But my favorite M&M. It's just with peanut butter inside. I love that.
I'm still waiting for the chili one to come out.
Oh,
Once
I know.
that gets out, then now we're talking. Okay, before we wrap this episode up, I'm going to ask you, y'all mentioned we're both married. We've been married to our brides for a long, long time. How long you and Stacy been married?
43 years.
You got 5 on me. So Jerry and I, it's going to be 38 in October. So let me ask you this. And you guys could think the same about your spouses or significant others too. But I'll ask you personally, what in God's name attracted her to you?
I ask that question every day. I don't only ask it, her friends ask it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the simple fact that 43 years at the Examiner, I got the kids on the bus, and I was there to take them off the bus. I was, because I worked every night. So she'd get home at 5. I'd hand her the kids, give her a kiss, and I'd go off to a Royals game or go to a high school event, something like that. And now that that I've retired, we had a week where I really didn't cover anything. And she comes up to me, isn't there someplace you can go? So we did, for the first time, went on a vacation. We went to Cleveland, great city, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Bucket list for me, man.
Yeah. But I didn't have any phone interviews to do. I didn't have any deadlines I was worried about. It was a real, honest-to-God, husband and wife vacation. And it was wonderful. Just wonderful.
Okay, well, it's pretty simple. What attracted Jerry to me? Everything. What can I say? So
I love Jerry. I wonder about her choices sometime, but I love her.
Stop right there. All right, so big survey out this week, and I want you guys to think about it, comment, whatever. So, but and you guys think about this too, but I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Sure.
What are the top 5 hottest male hobbies that women find attractive? Not your looks and stuff.
Yeah.
Hobbies that guys do. Like, if that guy does, wow, he's into that. Man, that's way cool. What do you think it is? I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
It has something to do with what you did all those years.
Writing for a hometown newspaper and not making any money?
Well, kind Kinda.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think, guys always say that they're attracted to their laugh, their personality, their sense of humor.
Talking about hobbies now.
Yeah. Well,
Pickleball? Nope.
nope, not pickleball, which Stacy is now addicted to.
Okay. You know
Reading.
what it is? Cheater. Freaking cheater. Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah.
reading. I
Yeah.
mean, really? I mean, don't guys know how to read?
I know.
I mean, it's like, well, I guess if you walked up on a guy and he's going, no, that's the.
Yeah.
So reading is number one. Second, learning a foreign language or speaking a foreign language. You know a foreign language?
No.
Sí, pero cómo no.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Entonces, ¿cómo estás, Guillermo? No. Okay. Here we go. Number 3 on the list. Playing an instrument,
Hey,
baby.
okay.
Playing an instrument.
Hey, I've seen all those pictures of you when you were younger in those silk shirts.
But, well, hey, how about the man right now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The silk shirts, and the leather pants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you don't play an instrument.
No.
I know the butt trumpet doesn't count, but all right, here's another one. Do you cook? Guys that cook,
Yes.
women are attracted to guys that cook. Now, I'm not talking about burnt toast and hash blacks. So,
My son is dating, has a new girlfriend. We spent a lot of time with her this weekend.
yeah.
And he sells wine and spirits. He knows every restaurateur in St. Louis. And they go, and the chef always comes out, and she goes, First time I went out to dinner with Zach, and he got all this attention. She's like, who is this celebrity? She reel her on in, buddy. And
heck yeah. See,
that
there
is
you
a
go.
very,
Yeah.
that's charming.
I would agree with
Yeah,
that one, cooking.
yeah.
And yes, I do know how to cook. I'll tell you who's the best cook in this room. Yeah, producer.
Yes.
Yep.
Who's your favorite cook? Guys, do you cook at home? How about your wife? I mean, Stacy can come home from work and in a half hour pull shit out of the refrigerator and makes the greatest 5-course meal you've ever had. And I don't know how she does it.
Jerry's the same way, but I'm telling you right now, producer Tony is this dude. I mean, this guy can find gravel and pea rocks and make something out of it. All right, so cooking, really for real. Cooking's good. Last thing on there, I wouldn't know anything about this. I don't know if you do or not. And I don't know what the fascination would be, but maybe it's cool. Woodworking.
A woodwork here, buddy.
God.
You got to come over. You got to come over and see. I do this crazy types. I can't do anything intricate where 2 boards have to fit together perfectly. And good friend of mine, Tom McPherson, and I have been wood carving for 15 years, and it's so much fun. We do, everything from a lifelike cardinal, and
Really?
And our big thing is the base has to be as good as the piece of art. And he found all these old posts and cut them down to 6-8 inches, and then we put birds and crazy things on them, and it's fun, man.
Look at you.
It is my it's my relief from stress. Yeah.
Geppetto over here.
That's
My
right.
goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so listen. So we talked about things that are attractive to women, hobbies that guys are into. What about stuff that they see you doing that hobby, or they find out you're on a blind date or first date, and they know you're into this? They say, "Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom," and they don't ever come back.
Yes.
So, what do you think they are?
I think the number one has to be if a guy has a big comic book collection.
Oh God, I thought you were going to say something else. A big something. Comic books is on there.
Is it on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is one of the 3 things on there. Comic books. I never was really much into. But
As
never,
a kid, I was. Oh,
Yeah. Did you collect them?
yeah. I learned how to read with a comic book. I mean,
Really?
Back in the day when I could walk a half a mile to the Independence drugstore, and 23rd Street was only 2 lanes back there, and I would no longer let a 9 or 10-year-old kid do that now. But times have changed.
Yeah.
It was a sweeter, gentler time back then. But I knew what day the new comic books were coming in for Batman, for Superman, Spider-Man.
But that was
I was there to get them. Yeah,
we were kids.
Yeah.
It was a cool thing.
Yep.
Well, the number one thing that women are not attracted to are guys that are into crypto.
dude.
Crypto.
If somebody asked me, an alien comes down from outer space and asks me what crypto is, I'm giving him your phone number because as hell don't know.
No,
what it
I
is.
don't know. Yeah. I have no idea about crypto. I don't know. Bitcoin is what's usually in my pocket. Bits of coins. That's it. It's like you asked me, you got change for a 50 cent. Well, crypto. No,
exactly.
So that's it. So
what's the third one?
The third one is guys that wear blue shirts with white buttons. Oh, damn.
Sorry, ladies.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Well, that's about it for this particular episode of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. In the coming weeks, and we mean very soon, we're going to have guests on the show. We'll tell you about that on the next show.
And
yeah. Oh, yes.
Going on the road.
We are going on the road. We will be doing this show probably, what do you think, once a month?
I hope
from
so.
Our favorite
Yep.
little restaurant spot. And honest to God, I would put their pizza up against anybody's.
Anything in there.
Really.
They have the best gyro sandwich I've ever tasted.
I saw
and
it.
you don't go to a pizza place to get a gyro.
You do.
I
saw it. And it was great. And Producer T, Tony's been with us over there. My youngest son, Nick.
Yep.
Now it's like I told them about Vito's in Blue Springs. And now, I talked to my little grandson. He's like, Vito's.
Yeah.
We're having pizza. So we'll be doing that. Vito's is on 7 Highway. Before we get there, why don't you guys go there?
Yes. We'll let you know in advance.
Yeah, we'll let you know when we're going to be there. But, man, try it out. I swear, because when we come, you'll definitely want to come in. We'd love to meet you guys. But definitely go try Vito's. And
Vito's Original Pizza. And I tell you what, Vito and his son Onofrio, two of the best men, most generous and giving individuals. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in there, and I don't know if Vito would like me to say this, but somebody comes in and do you have anything that you're getting ready to throw away or something? He goes, what do you want? And he cuts off a big slice of pizza and goes over and gets him a soda. And yeah, tears come to my eyes every time I see it. They're the
awesome.
best.
And they do this special every single day.
Yeah.
2 slices of pizza and a drink. You ready for this? $10. Now, I'm talking about pizza. We're not talking about. They're huge.
Monstrous.
You can't fit 2 of them on one pizza.
You can't.
You can't. But Vito's is where we're going to be.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun
out
with that.
there.
I want to do a big thank you and a shout out to Daryl Smith, who is the CEO of Hero Fund USA. Check out Hero Fund on herofundusa.org. And also, I want to recognize the smartest person in the room, and
amen.
we're not looking at one another at all right now. He is a young man who is a U.S. Navy veteran. He's our producer. He's an equal member of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure because he's the Tony that makes it so excellent. Yeah. That's our producer, and he also happens to be my firstborn. He is my son. It's Tony Jr. So please remember to like and subscribe. You can make all the comments that you would like and, tell your friends about us. Hopefully we'll be reading your comments because that's what we're going to do. Once we start getting comments and suggestions, we'll be reading those. He's Bill. I'm Tony. Thanks for listening to Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. We'll talk to you soon.